we're going to get started. We have Olivia McGregor here. She's our first ever woman in business, prepared to present to the women in business. So she's put this together for us, you guys. I'm really excited. Let me read her bio really quick. She's an amazing woman. We are lucky to have her. All right, Olivia has been a proud member of the South Salt Lake Chamber Women in Business since 2019. She's a service delivery manager for VOX Network Solutions, where she assists with onboarding, successful delivery of scopes, and VOX Managed Services. She's directly responsible for the customer relationship. She's always looking to grow both personally and professionally, and she joined Toastmasters a few months ago to build her confidence and help her become a better communicator and leader. She enjoys getting pampered and cooking and watching true crime documentaries and spending time with her husband and her 2-year-old daughter, Finley. Welcome, Olivia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for that introduction, Terry. And I'm super excited to be kicking off today's Women in Business presentations for you all. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, can you all see that?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so like Terry mentioned, my name is Olivia McGregor, and today I will be speaking on the topic of public speaking and what you can do to minimize your fear around public speaking. At the end of my presentation, I am going to need 3 volunteers for an impromptu speaking contest. So with that, do I have any volunteers right off the bat? Natalie, perfect, thank you. Anyone else?
I can do it, but I feel like other people should do it. So I'll do it if nobody else volunteers.
Okay, I've got you down, Terry. Anyone else? I need 1 more.
I can do it.
Well, I'll
Olivia.
give you. Okay, was
Jennifer.
that Jennifer?
It's Jennifer Gibbons.
Thank you. All right. So for those of you who didn't, raise their hand and volunteer right off the bat, what types of feelings were you feeling when I said that we're going to have a speech contest?
Not knowing
Anxiety.
what to expect. Yeah.
The unknowing.
Like, what are you going to make me talk about? Will I know the topic? Will I know what to say? Will I freeze?
Yes.
Yep.
So I wanted to let you guys know that those feelings are completely normal. 77% of the population has some type of anxiety around public speaking, and this is known as glossophobia. So there are many symptoms of glossophobia, and here's a few of them here. So, that increased heart rate and shortness of breath, that sort of thing. So I want to share with you some strategies that you can use to reduce those feelings and symptoms of glossophobia. So the first one is going to be to practice out loud and in a safe space. You want to practice speaking out loud by yourself and then eventually enlist a trusted friend or family member for that supportive audience. And then you want to pay particular attention to your intro because anxiety tends to drop within the first 30 to 60 seconds of speaking. You also want to visualize the good but prepare for the bad. So if you find yourself ruminating on the negative what if I forget my speech, or what if I trip and fall on stage, imagine the best case scenarios. A positive outcome is just as possible as a negative outcome. And remember that even the best speakers make mistakes. And then next, get to know your audience. So arrive to the venue early, chit chat with your audience beforehand. And then while you're speaking, you can scan the room for a familiar face, gaze at them briefly and smile, and you will feel so much better when presenting. The next one, you want to reduce stress in advance. So aim to get at least 15 minutes of exercise in an hour to 2 hours before your presentation. And then again, arrive to the venue early, eat a healthy meal beforehand, practice yoga or meditation, and wear comfortable clothes that you feel good in, because that will help with your presentation as well. And then remember why people are there. They are not there to judge you. They are there because they are interested in the content that you are going to share. You are bringing value to them. So inspire them, educate them, and entertain them. And then lastly, allow yourself to pause. So stop speaking and take a few steps to the side. It's important to move your body while you're giving a speech. It can help channel those nerves into physical movement versus a psychological block. And then you also want to take deep breaths while you're presenting. I gave a speech earlier this month on mitigating burnout in the workplace, and I taught them something called the 4-7-8 breathing exercise, where you inhale for a slow count of 4, hold for a slow count of 7, and then exhale for a slow count of 8. You may not necessarily want to do this while you're presenting, but it is something that you could incorporate prior to your presentation. And then my favorite part that has really helped me with coming out of my shell and feeling somewhat comfortable getting in front of a group of people is Toastmasters. So by raise of hand, how many of you have heard of Toastmasters before? Okay, awesome. So almost everyone. And how many of you have actually been to a Toastmasters meeting before? Okay, well, I am going to let you know what the meetings are all about today and what Toastmasters is. So Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization that helps individuals become better speakers and leaders. Everything is ran through a club. There are over 15,800 clubs spanning across 149 countries with over 300,000 members. And like I said, everything is revolved around that club. So just gonna walk you through what a typical meeting would look like. It starts out with the Toastmaster, and that Toastmaster is the host of the meeting. The Toastmaster makes sure that all of the roles are filled and that everyone is there and prepared. It then goes into the quote of the day. So whoever has the quote of the day will come to the meeting and share a quote. And they are also the vote counter. So all speeches we vote on if they're in time. So it's kind of a fun competition. And then we have the word of the day. So whoever has the word of the day role will come to the meeting with a word and definition to share with the club members. And the idea is that you use that word when you're speaking during that meeting that day. The next is the timer. So like I mentioned before, all meetings are timed, whether it's your prepared speeches, your table topic speeches, or the evaluations. And then it goes into the prepared speeches. So when you sign up for Toastmasters, you have access to something called Pathways, and it breaks down everything into projects. So you have your icebreaker project first, where you give a 3 to 5 minute speech. And then depending on which pathways you choose, there's different topics that you are to prepare a speech for and present to the group. Right now, I'm currently working on one for my type of communication style. So that will be fun. And then it goes into the table topics, which we will be having our very own table topics at the end of this meeting. And the table topics master will be played by me, gives the group or gives the individual a topic, and that person is to speak on that topic for 1 to 2 minutes. It can't be under 1 minute and it can't be over 2 minutes. It has to be in time to be voted on for best speaker. And our table topic speakers are the ones speaking on those. And then at the end of the meeting, it's handed over to our general evaluator who will evaluate the entire meeting and introduces the individual evaluators who will evaluate the prepared speeches for that day. If you haven't joined a Toastmasters meeting before, I strongly encourage you to. You don't have to sign up. You can just go to toastmasters.org and click find a club, and it will pull up clubs near you, and you could just drop in and see what it's all about. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of room to grow there. Before I move on, are there any questions? Okay. Like I said, there are so many benefits of Toastmasters. I wouldn't be presenting today if it weren't for Toastmasters, so give it a try if you're interested. And now we're going to go into our South Salt Lake Women in Business table topics. All right, so was it Natalie who volunteered first? All right, so Natalie, I have an app downloaded on my phone that is going to time you. Like I mentioned, you're going to want to be within 1 to 2 minutes in length. I will hold up the timer. You guys should be able to see the colors. So at 1 minute, it will turn green. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, it will turn orange. And then at 2 minutes, it will turn red. All right. Are you ready, Natalie?
Sure. Just like free balling it, like whatever we're doing? Like,
yes, okay, it's just an impromptu speech, no rules, and you can make it up if you'd like.
Well, yeah.
Okay, your question is, for decades we have promoted the notion of work-life balance. With the ongoing pandemic, personal and professional lives have merged, leaving little to no space for separation. What are the best practices in creating an environment that allows for a healthy distinction between work and home life? How can women continue to support one another during and beyond the pandemic?
Well, this isn't a can of worms or anything. Okay, so it's true. I feel that women have, and its studies have also proven that women have borne the brunt of this work-life collision, I guess is the best word. We have kids at home doing school from their computers, stealing the bandwidth, I might add. We are doing everything on Zoom. As you saw, my little puppet here, she, wants to do what I do. I've got 5 kids, so I'm definitely feeling it. My husband doesn't work from home. He's an executive at a hotel, so crazy busy, especially in the ski season. And it kind of falls to me. I mean, pandemic has definitely escalated these problems, but it didn't create them. I think as women, we can make sure that we are surrounding each other and we help each other. Like if someone's got an important meeting, like swap kids, I don't know, do something. But we can always, or just be really generous with our time and our face expressions, and just know that everyone's going through what they're going through and everyone's doing their best. The end.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie.
That was great.
That was great.
As like I've got the little pop in over here. Her birthday's tomorrow.
I have one of those too. 5. Oh, happy birthday.
They all said happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah. Here you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie. All right, Terry, your turn. Okay. So your question is, in today's workforce, there is a presence of baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Generation Z. According to a recent report, when it comes to styles of communication, baby boomers prefer in-person or telephone, while Gen X prefers emails. On the other hand, millennials and Generation Z communicate more through text, social media, and FaceTime. What are ways that we can integrate different work styles to work collectively and empower one another across generational differences?
You saved the easy one for me. Okay, I love this. Actually, because I believe that Gen X is the best generation out of everyone, like without a doubt. We have those boomer skills, the phone, the in-person. We can absolutely do that. We graduated high school without a cell phone. We drove around for the first few years without a cell phone. Like, I feel like that piece alone has prepared us for dealing with the older generations in the workforce. And then we also got cell phones and, you know, the internet and all that stuff pretty close to our younger years, right? You know, around that time. So I think that we didn't pick it up as easy as the kids do now, obviously, but we were able to pick it up, which means we have somewhat of a grasp of the technology, right? So basically, if you're not a Gen X, you're kind of in trouble right now. If you're a Gen X, we gotta embrace these younger kids, and we've gotta help them see, you know, why us older folks aren't so bad. And I guess that means I'm done. Am I done? Is that what that meant?
Yes, it was
Okay,
green, so you were in time.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jennifer, you're next.
Bring it on.
Okay, so your question is, imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as fraud. How can women overcome this?
You know, I think that women especially have imposter syndrome. And, you know, I don't remember exactly where I read it, but individuals, men will apply for a position if they're not qualified 60% of the time. And women will apply for a position if they're not qualified 0% of the time. So I think that a lot of it has to do with self-confidence and, you know, maybe not seeing the value in ourselves and realizing, I think that we also have to band together and make sure that we're telling each other what our strengths, like being able to recognize each other for our strengths and being able to share our accomplishments without any kind of fear of bragging or anything. Like, do the things to help yourself realize and help others realize that they do belong where they're at right now. Like, there's a reason why they got to where they're at in life. And the sky really is the limit. And, you know, we've had so many women before us that have paved the way for us, if you will. I mean, it was here in Utah where the first woman voted, Saraf Young. She was the first one to vote in the United States of America. And you know, I'm sure that she probably has imposter syndrome from that. But yeah, that's all that I have today, folks.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. That was great. And I never knew that the first woman who voted was from Utah. That's great. Thank you. All right. Well, everyone was in time, so we're going to open it up to voting. So I'm not entirely sure how the chat works in Ring Central. Terry, do you know if there's a way that people can message just me?
Yes, yeah. It's just the same,
okay.
basically. So.
Yep. Okay. So if everybody could just chat me who the best speaker was for today, and even if you delivered a speech, you can vote. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, but thank you all for your time today. I really hope that y'all learned something. So thank you for your time.
I think we need to give Olivia a round of applause. This was so good. You did a great job.
That was really good. Yes.
Hey, great job, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, tell us who the winner is, and then I'll.
All right. Let me just make sure that we got votes from everyone really quick. I think I'm waiting on just a couple more votes.
Or maybe
While we're
their
waiting,
vote doesn't count.
I just wanted to just say something really fast because I do public speaking all the time, right? But I'm always prepared and I know exactly what I'm going to say. And, you know, my heart was beating so fast. And I was like, oh, am I going to trip over my words? I feel like my words aren't connecting right, you know? It's so true. Like even somebody that is seasoned in public speaking, it can be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
My heart's still trying to catch up.
For sure. For sure. All right. Well, it looks like our winner today is Natalie. Congratulations. And thank you all for participating. I really appreciate it.
That was really great. That was
This
so
was a
much
great
fun.
meeting.
Oh, you
This
don't
is
say
good.
anything?
Olivia, you're the best.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you did amazing.
Thank you.